Well, thank you, Skip, and thank you to Xplor for hosting this webinar. Today, we're going to discuss the importance of workflow in production print and mail environments. First, we'll share some benefits about post-composition and how centralizing on PDF workflows brought crucial time and cost savings to 3 of our customers. We will highlight DataPros, a primarily transactional print service provider that also provides e-presentment and digital archiving services. IWCO is a large direct mailer who recently added a fleet of HP page-wide presses in their factories. And then we'll hear about the state of Colorado, IDS, which is an in-plant printer and mailer that added a production inkjet press and implemented our chemistry platform during COVID.
So after those great case studies, we're going to share with you some information about Solimar and our chemistry platform and what's coming down the track for 2023 and beyond. And then we're also going to share with you events that we're going to be at where we hope to see you. So stay for the whole webinar. Make sure you engage by putting questions or comments or things you want to know in the chat, and we'll review that after the presentation. And with that, Marianne, I think we should keep on moving.
Absolutely, thank you. So Solimar Workflow Solutions harmonize disparate systems. Our customers create all kinds of applications like booklets, direct mail, statements, labels, and typically have a mixture of composition and homegrown applications, including cameras and other IT systems. Well, we see all of this as inputs into the chemistry platform, because in post-composition, we generate optimized output for different channels, such as optimized PDF for production inkjet presses and cut sheet printers, and then downsample or generate smaller PDF files for email applications, e-delivery, and archive systems. So the optimizations are done dynamically after composition, which is why we say post-composition lives in the now.
So when we talk about this, we also want you to know that we have a universal dashboard that can be used to track jobs from the time they come into a factory, from the receipt all the way to the delivery to the customer. And that includes finishing and USPS delivery, among others. So that's pretty exciting. And we hope that it'll help enable your business. So here's a brief overview of our chemistry platform that some of you may already be familiar with chemistry from Solimar. We call it chemistry. Think of it as an overarching brand that fits over our modular system, including things like pre-flight and make-ready. We can handle the visibility and tracking dashboard that I just mentioned. We can enrich and enhance already composed or created communications, such as PDF files. And then we can archive, e-deliver them, create custom portals to distribute them electronically. There's all sorts of things in our chemistry platform that make it possible to deliver workflow to the end user. And what's really great about it is that it has modular bolt-on capabilities that, like accessible documents. You can manage your job and compliance around security around this platform. And we have this amazing training in Solimar University online. So Marianne, why don't you take us through a little bit deeper of what's in the chemistry platform, because it's pretty capable.
Yes. Well, and key to most factories today is standardizing on PDF for all job file formats. Other important functions include batching of like work, having a dashboard, as you mentioned, to see all jobs incoming, in production, and outgoing, as well as creating multiple optimized output formats for different communication channels. And how we do this, so unique to Solimar, are configurable user interfaces that don't require programming. So jobs and even new staff can be onboarded very quickly. Our systems can grow with you and easily scale by adding new modules or RIPs. And really, it's a DIY, Jonathan, right?
Yes, and for those of you who want a refresher on DIY, it's do it yourself. And that's our motto here at Solimar with the chemistry platform, is we want you to be able to do the work without having to have lots of professional services and custom code. We are a modular, configurable, and do-it-yourself platform. So we love the DIY model, just like those big home stores that you might know where you go get your fencing and your gardening supplies. So think of us as the champion for the people. All right, so Solimar is also known for our ability to transform or convert print streams from legacy content to the optimized or the most optimized, we like to say with Ready PDF files. And PDF has really won that war. We have a lot of really cool information on PDF in our Solimar secrets and some of the other assets that we have around the Solimar shop and in our Solimar University online. So what we want you to know is never say no to jobs coming into your facility, work coming from your customers. We want to empower you to be able to say yes, to be able to take that AFP, to take that IPDS, PCL, Metacode, VIP. You may be seeing a lot of VIP coming towards you as things change in the market. We want you to be able to say yes to that work and know that Solimar can get you to the standardized PDF format and then make sure it is as optimized as possible.
Absolutely. And then more and more, right, shops are getting in direct PDF that needs to be optimized. And so this is really where we play a strong role. And so many of our customers also have both cut sheet and continuous feed devices. And those with cut sheet printers typically send PostScript to those devices to enable media and Plex. Well, now we have the option to generate templates with JDF job tickets. So when jobs are sent to JDF-enabled cut sheet printers, the finishing commands are embedded. And so there's no longer the need to generate large PostScript files, which is a huge benefit.
And one of the things that we really want you to know is that we are very partner-centric here at Solimar. So we work with a lot of the hardware manufacturers, most of them, in fact, and many of them on a global basis. So what's great about that is we work with them to make sure that these high-tech options are there and available for you so that you can move away from like PostScript as your default, and you can start to move to these more advanced PDF and JDF, JMF capabilities.
Absolutely. So now we're going to jump into our first case study and highlight Brian Ray from Data Pros. Brian is their CTO and a member of our advisory council.
So Data Pros, if you're not familiar with them, is in Dallas or in the Dallas Metroplex. Being from there, I know what that means. But if you know where the DFW airport is, they're just a little bit north of there. They have over 400 customers across healthcare, telecommunications, financial services, you know, that high volume, really crucial, critical communications. And they have a huge volume. So they provide this turnkey solution for their customers of getting communications out the door so that brands can make sure that customers have the information they need. And they really focus on excellent customer service and high performance and quality. So with that, I think we should share some of their challenges and why Solimar was working with them, Marianne.
Absolutely. So Data Pros, they've been a longtime customer of Solimar, having many of our data transforms and reengineering products for several years. But some of their new challenges came during COVID because they won several new contracts, but they needed to onboard this new work very quickly. A lot of the new work was coming in as PDF from customers, was large and full of challenges. They needed to cache resources, fix all kinds of fonts, and create optimized PDF output at 600 DPI for their Canon printers. At the same time, they needed PDFs with much smaller images, so they needed to downsample these for their e-presentment platform.
So one of the things about Data Pros is that these challenges led to some significant ROI, right, Marianne? So we should really share with you how workflow and how a system like Chemistry can deliver some real benefits to your bottom line.
Right. So by adding our product called Ready PDF Prepress Server, just because that's a standalone product, I'll name that one. What was great was they achieved a 95% file reduction on files across all types. And so that was just really significant for them. The smaller PDFs were perfect for serving up files instantly in their e-presentment offering. And it also kept their archive storage costs low by hosting smaller files.
Brian told us at Data Pros that what was really important about this, because of the type of work they do, is that the fidelity of the PDFs does not change. And so that is really important because you need what goes in to be exactly what comes out, that what people in our industry would call light table fidelity. So that is something that we're really proud of here at Solimar, that we can provide that kind of service with these kinds of results in ROI.
Absolutely. And so you can read this case study and also listen to the interview with Brian Ray on our website. We will add in the links in the handout that will be distributed with this replay. Just want to let you guys know that. So now the next case study we're going to talk about is IWCO. And Carol heads up the production technologies applications team. And Tony Solimar, is an application engineer. Love Tony. And both are members of our advisory council.
IWCO is a wonderful customer of Solimar's, but they're also a very important printer in the United States. They have a couple locations, Minnesota, Pennsylvania. They have had and continue to have Canon and screen inkjet presses. But what's you might remember from the news, from the press, is that they purchased 7 of the HP page-wide web presses for inkjet. And that is just a testament to the kind of volume and quality that they're putting out into the market. So what you can see from this is that they have a lot going on. So Marianne, do you want to share a little bit more about their processes and why they came to Solimar?
Yes, yes. So IWCO has been a Solimar customer for many years, and they've had some of our transform tools and some of our workflow tools as well. But their new challenge was how to implement these 7 HP presses into their environment, which is with as little interruption as possible. They didn't want to take time to change their upfront composition process, and nor do they want to retrofit their bindery equipment to support the larger paper sizes. So by adding some additional Solimar modules, they could digitally adjust the chip out area for the color refresh bars for the HP settings, because these are different than the Canons and screens. And that was going to be a big challenge for them if they couldn't overcome that.
And just one thing I want to add in there is that if you are in a mixed shop environment, this is why workflow is so powerful. So we have this quote here: after buying the solution, putting it all in, there's the realities of production. And what they found is that these little differences between all the different printers meant that they needed something to optimize the output to the devices they wanted to use. Because if they didn't, it could cost them $10,000 each on replacing these blades for their cutting system. So when you add all that up, it's over $110,000 worth of cost savings that was delivered just by workflow. And that is how powerful it is. But it's not just cost savings. Tony would tell you, right, Marianne, that it was hours and hours and hours of headaches if they had to try to do this. And then they changed out their finishing again. So they could have had to do it all over again. But because they have a flexible and modular workflow system, they were able to leverage the investment in those 7 page-wide presses immediately, which is pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah. And then they had another challenge as well that they came to us with. And they said, we have a challenge with our QC process, our quality control. It's laborious, it's error prone. Occasionally, duplicate records get mailed by accident, causing confusion to the customer. And so we looked at this and basically came up with a workflow for them that we were able to help them streamline this process by applying watermarks to the quality control samples. Sounds simple, but it takes some work to put those in. But this has made these things much easier, because now they can pull those test pages, and if one is, bypasses their controls and gets mailed, it's labeled QC sample. So big relief, great improved customer service, improved customer satisfaction, because they took that worry away. And also they got all those manual steps out of that process.
So just a quick thing on a quote from Carol. This was really important to them to have a unified and centralized solution that manages their output. And it's because they have such a diverse set of printing equipment. And having our system, as you can read here, means that they're able to meet their SLA. And anybody in the high volume critical business knows that meeting SLAs is important. But I want to posture to you, if you're from a commercial environment or a packaging or any other environment, you always have to deliver your work on time to your customers, and workflow really can help you do that. And I think Carol really brings that home.
Absolutely. And what's great is you can read this case study and listen to the interview with Carol and Tony on the website, and the link will also be in the handout. But if you go to our website right now under case studies, it's certainly just right there. So now the big case study, they're all important, but this one was really the big one, right, Jonathan? State of
Yes.
Colorado, IDS, dear to your heart because it's in your backyard. So we're going to review this case study. And briefly, many of you probably know Mike Lincoln is the Colorado State Printer. Gilbert Gomez is the variable data designer who manages all things Solimar. And both of these gentlemen are on our advisory council as well.
Yes, so they are here in Colorado. They're just outside of downtown. They handle pretty much all of the state communications, including the Department of Revenue now, which you'll hear a little bit more about. They have a new inkjet printer that they recently installed that allows them to do a lot more work. But they also have, like we talked about before, a mix shop of cut sheets and wide format and a little bit of everything in there going on because they handle everything from Parks and Rec to warrant letters and transactional type of communications. And I think the big thing that Marianne's going to share in this case study is just how their volumes change. So I don't want to steal her thunder, but that's going to be the thing you want to listen for, is how that affected their staff. And Marianne, take it away. It's
Absolutely.
a great story.
Well, the state has been a customer of ours again. We're very blessed to have lots of long-term customers. There are many, many years they've had our different transform products and some of our re-engineering tools. But now with this huge influx of work, and one of their biggest new customers requiring digital proofs, approvals, and rejections of individual pieces of mail prior to production was an absolute requirement. So they needed to implement SolaTrack, our visibility dashboard, very quickly. So this allows their customers now to log into the dashboard to see only their jobs and approve, put on hold, or reject communications going to citizens of Colorado. And so that was absolutely critical, Jonathan, and they stood this up in a very short period of time.
Yes, I mean, between the quick stand up of the dashboard at the last month of the year, at the last quarter, at a very busy time for them, they also saw some amazing impacts from our Ready PDF prepress server that we mentioned earlier in the webinar here. So,
Yeah.
you're going to share here a snapshot of the dashboard. So walk us through what we're looking at.
Yes, and I think I have a quote from Mike as well. So they do use Ready PDF to optimize all kinds of applications. So the nice thing is the dashboard is completely configurable, lots of custom views. You can see different fields as you'd like. This also is mobile, so you can choose to see what you'd like to see on your mobile phone. And this allows you to go ahead and search for jobs, individual pieces of jobs, and then actually react to them. You can get visibility, right, and alerts on this as well. We were talking with Gilbert about really having this do-it-yourself kind of setup.
So this is where we really get into the quote from Gilbert, who is the everything Solimar at the state of Colorado, and back to this theme that we have in this webinar about DIY, do it yourself. So he says that gave them the advantage to be able to get their customers onboarded faster. And that is really important because they moved off a solution onto Solimar because that was a major pain point, right, Marianne?
Absolutely, yes. And then in Gilbert's video, he talks about large incoming PDFs. Some of these were taking 14 hours to process. And now with Ready PDF, they're down to 2 to 4 hours and even less at times. So Mike recognized that it's a 70% time savings in prepping documents for printing, just to get them really, all set to go. And so, the state, they've been hugely successful. They've eliminated almost all of their pre-printed stock, which years ago, remember, Jonathan, they had the whole warehouse of stock and envelopes and such. So they achieved the white paper factory with an optimized PDF-centric workflow. They've enhanced and automated their workflows overall. They've reduced their file processing time by 70%. They improved customer service with their online proof approval and rejection of jobs. And they didn't need to replace or retrofit any of their existing bindery equipment.
And I think really we just need to give a huge credit to the people who implement this. And it goes back to Gilbert in this case, because he's everything Solimar and he does have a team he works with, but they were able to do this in less than 6 months when, as it says here on the screen in the quote, could have been 3 years. That's pretty incredible.
That was the estimate, yes. And so there's lots more to read about this, and we have several interviews. We actually did an on-site video shoot. So all of this is available on our website as well. And again, I'll send links to this as well so you can read and see more.
So, what we really want you to take away from this around workflow and production dashboards, especially, is that there are must-haves for print production and digital delivery environments. And we've conveniently put them right here on the screen for you. So look at this and make sure that when you walk your workflow, you're assessing whether you have automation, optimization, visibility, auditability, meaning you can track back everything and you can match it up, supportability, great people like our tech support people here at Solimar who are going to keep you in business no matter what's going on because they know this platform in and out. And then, of course, security, because you need to know that everything that goes on in your shop is fully secure for your sake and for your customers. So please take it from us. These are the must-haves.
Absolutely. And now a bit of an eye chart, but just wanted to let you know that we have 6 integrated modular solution suites inside the chemistry platform. Now, some customers, like the state of Colorado, use most of these. They have a good percentage of all the products we have. Others can select products to use in various environments. And really, it's a tactical to strategic approach, right, Jonathan?
It is. So you need to check your toolbox, especially if you're a Solimar customer today. Let us know if there's something you're having trouble with. Check our Solimar University online for tips and tricks and best practices. But know that Marianne and I are always here if you just have a question. And I mean, she's been watching this platform develop and guiding it for 30 years. She'll have a good idea who to get you to get a great answer quickly.
Thank you. Yes. And so a couple of things we wanted to share with you. Many of our customers use our solutions for bookmaking, householding, and even commingling. They gain huge cost savings in optimizing rolls of paper and also postal savings. And we have whole presentations on this as well. We'd be happy to share with you. Our SoloTrack dashboard, as we mentioned, also supports intelligent batching of like work. So think 1 to 2 ounce first class US bound mail could be commingled into an entire roll of paper. We concatenate the hundreds or thousands of jobs into one. Then you can actually even print in reverse, so end to one, and eliminate the unwinding process. So this saves our biggest PSPs huge amounts of time and postal costs.
That's a great feature. And then another really important technological advancement, we believe, is the Solimar JDF ticketing strategy. So it's integral to our chemistry platform, pardon me. I'm just so excited about the things that we come out with here at Solimar. So our JDF JMF and our job ticketing strategy is key to the future. And we're also implementing XJDF. And the XJDF you see on the screen is a new standard. So what we're going to ask you, instead of explaining all of that to you right now, because we have a limited amount of time and a lot of great stuff to share, please reach out to us if you're interested in this XJDF, this newer standard, and what this will do to improve your workflow in your production environment, because we're really excited about it.
Absolutely. Yep, so then just Solimar at a glance, just some brief information we wanted to leave with you in case you're new to Solimar or really unsure of it, like where do we play? So, we're a 32-year-old software company headquartered here in San Diego, California. And we have offices and distributors all around the world. And really, we're expert in PDF workflows and enabling data security and compliance. Our software is steady state, which means fully regressed versions and only global releases. So we don't offer custom versions of our software. And we're all about standardization. We're active members of the AFP Consortium, CIP4, which is the XJDF, and the PDF standards. We also have our own online learning platform called Solimar University Online, or SUO. And we are blessed with a large customer advisory council with more than 40 members.
And to add to that, we have some amazing customers around the globe. So we have thousands of global installations. So no matter where you're watching this webinar from, please let us know how we can help, because we have solutions in the field today all over the world and have had, Marianne, for a very long time, for decades. And I think that's a really important part of how strong and capable our platform is.
Yes, yes. And then as you can see, we'll be participating in many events this year all around the world. So I won't read them all off to you, but please let us know if you'd like to meet us at any of these or you'll be attending. We'd love to
And
meet
and we didn't forget the one that goes with the webinar that we're giving here. So Xplor is another one we plan to attend. We are under the impression, and maybe Skip will talk about this during the Q&A, that it will be in November, likely in the Tampa area, and we are just super excited to return to that and share our knowledge with attendees. So keep an eye out for those dates because they're not yet on our slide.
and we'll add it to our events page as well.
Yes. So we also have some amazing partners, and I won't name them all because we love them all equally. But if the key here is if you're working with a print vendor and you are looking for workflow improvements, we work hand in hand with the partners you see on the screen and many others. We actually have across the globe, Marianne, over 40 channel partners and distributors. So please talk to your partners, ask them about Solimar, talk to Marianne and I about how we work with them, and we will be happy to do some matchmaking there so that you get the best solution no matter what is in your shop today or in the future.
And we're often in their booths at partner show at the big conferences. So we'll publish where we'll be on our event page as well. We also have software, right, Jonathan, in most of their demo centers globally. So they can test their software with your jobs, and they do this all the time. So go ahead and reach out to any of the partners that you see here as well, and they can assist you as well.
Exactly.
So then just briefly, so, reach out to Jonathan or me with any questions you have or to discuss anything you'd like. We can always arrange online demos, file testing, and of course, we'd love to come on site and do visits. And now with that, Jonathan, I'd love to just run a brief, before Q&A, a brief video clip from Mike Lincoln, because he has some great comments, but more importantly, he has some great advice, I think, for everyone looking at these kinds of workflow solutions. So we'll just go ahead and run that.
It's the right solution for us. I would say it's the right solution for entities that are similar to us. There's a lot of options out there. I would encourage everybody to dig deep and understand what they do and do what we did. We asked a lot of questions. And when you are open to hearing things that you may not necessarily like, but move through that process, you'll learn and gain information and hopefully secure the right solution for your business, which we have done.